for murder in Virginia after teens tell authorities an age-old childhood prank, the ding-dong ditch, turned deadly. A high school senior shot to death while doing the stunt, his friends say, for a TikTok video. Now the homeowner, Tyler Chase Butler, arrested and accused of second-degree murder. The Spotsylvania County Sheriff's Office saying in a press release it was 3 a.m. Saturday morning when they got a call for a burglary in progress where shots were fired. Deputies found 2 people with gunshot wounds on the scene. 18-year-old Michael Bosworth Jr. was transported to a local hospital where he died just hours before his high school prom. His stepfather telling me he was a student athlete who played lacrosse, football, and wrestled, now gone. Another teen grazed with a bullet, telling investigators, according to court records, they weren't trying to break into the home to steal anything. They were just ringing doorbells and running away. And a third teen, not shot, telling authorities the same story and showing police a similar video from earlier that night. The question is whether a resident can claim self-defense in such a case.
In Virginia, if you are going to use lethal force, you have to be in fear from the perspective of a reasonable person of bodily harm, great bodily harm, or death.
The sheriff's office saying the Butler is held on no bond at a local jail. We haven't been able to reach him or an attorney. The investigation is still ongoing and may uncover if it really was a ding-dong ditch that led to shots ringing through this neighborhood and a young life lost. Drew Wilder, NBC Washington.
Thanks for watching.
And so before you get in there, MC, you've got to see something. So while I was trying to get this video, and I was like, I've never heard people, I mean, we've heard of ding dong ditch, but I've never heard of it being a trend. I never heard of it being like, this is, you know, something that people prank do. But I found a video of what they were doing or alleged to what they were doing. And I'm not surprised something like this happened, though, because if they did something similar to what they were doing, I can see why he got, you know, skinny pop. So this is a video that I found that's going viral right now of people doing the same damn thing on the ding dong ditch. Hold on, let me change the banner here. There we go. Whoops, we can't have that. Gotta play this without the audio.
These ninjas recorded themselves doing this.
Yeah. All right.
Last video we did the walking around here. How big is the Gaylord? Watch out, bro.
These guys got a ton of subscribers and views.
They got a whole center right up here. Oh my God. We went from college dorms to the biggest hotel in America.
Pause. Look at that.
Don't hurt him. Don't hurt him. Wait 1 second.
Prank that they were doing.
What if she pull a gun out and just kill all of us? This is a quadruple kill right here. Of course. The content's getting too real now.
Different, Shamika? Are you serious right now? That's why we can't party in there. She got a bomb in there.
It's the front desk. I need you to open the door. They're getting complaints. So either you're gonna come out or I'm gonna come in.
Oh,
chicks.
Tell her again. Make sure you the part where you said I'm gonna come in. Yeah. Shamika, can you tell them about our party?
Y'all don't know.
This was now you acting different.
There was a one that's in there.
Were you the one knocking off?
What is this?
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
Okay. That's what they were doing. That's the TikTok prank that they're talking about. These guys, like I said, they have over 600 and subscribers. This video alone got like 203 views. That's the stuff they were doing. That's exactly what they were doing. when it came to like this ding dong ditch. They're not just ringing the doorbell, they're like kicking the door in order to wake people up. So
Yeah.
it's unfortunate he lost his life over something so stupid, such a prank. And I'm with the homeowner, and I think most homeowners, they're gonna pull out the iron. And I don't know exactly where they were at though, because I know there are some circumstances where you can't they have to be inside versus, you can't just be shooting through the door. And you can't just take your gun out and just shoot outside just because for whatever reason you might be thinking. I think that's where they draw the line at about standing your ground or anything. But that's what they were doing. They were just kicking the doors and jumping on doors, creating a disturbance. And this is at 3 a.m. in the morning. So just like we're going to hold the other father accountable for not knowing where his son was at, we're going to hold this father accountable for not knowing where his son was at 3 a.m. And he might be at a friend's house. Well, the parents involved should have known where their kids were at, especially 3 a.m. I don't give a damn if they're 18 years old. You can't be out at 3 a.m. just messing with people's neighborhoods and thinking like nothing bad is going to happen. This is unfortunately, this is the type of thing that will happen, that will occur. Actually, I got the wrong banner up there. You want to get in there, MC?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about this from two different points of view. I'm gonna start with the homeowner first and kind of incorporate how I would have analyzed this situation. Number one, if you knock on my door or ring my doorbell at 3 a.m., you best believe my pistol is going to be very close to me. That's number one. I am going to think for a little bit and figure out if I want to use it or not. But it's going to be with me. If you come in at my house at 3 a.m. unannounced, it's usually not for a good reason, and there's usually some smoke associated with that.
Yeah.
So this guy's in Virginia. Virginia is not a castle doctrine state, so he doesn't have that protection. And Virginia does not allow no-knock warrants. Why am I telling you this? Because if I'm in Virginia and I know that they don't allow for no-knock warrants and that it's not a castle doctrine state, and I got somebody ringing my doorbell and kicking my door at 3 a.m., all alerts are going to be going off in my head.
Yeah,
That being said, it sounds to me like this guy skipped a couple of the basics in gun ownership. What you're supposed to do is say, hey, I'm not playing with you. I got a pistol. If you step in this house, it's not going to end well for you.
Warn them.
What's that? Yeah, you got to give some type of indication. And because you need to let them know that I tried everything that I possibly could to prevent me from pulling this gun and shooting it.
And we don't know if he didn't. He might have said that, but we don't know if he did.
We don't. But if they're ringing the doorbell and they did not attempt to enter, I think it's probably a safe assumption that your life ain't in danger. You can look out the peephole and see if they ran off or whatever and be done with it real quick. Or in my case, I can check my Ring cameras. But at the end of the day, I'm posted up right outside that door and I'm armed and ready. But I'm not going to pull it until I absolutely know that my life is in danger, because I got a house and a wife and a family to protect.
It's crazy though. He was given no what do you call it? Bond. Like he's sitting in jail right now on a no bond holding, which I think is really wild though, because this is a somewhat of a B&E type of situation. Homeowner shoots intruder. I don't understand why he didn't get bond on this. I don't know what the deal was. I mean, maybe it's because they were minors and they're considered minors, but I'm not sure why he didn't get a bond hearing. And honestly, anyone that's 2A pro, they should be saying something about this. They should be out there, even the NRA, they should all be coming out there and having a conversation here, because, well, I guess they're waiting until the video comes out though, because if he did just start bucking and, he just opened the door, opened the back door and just started shooting, yeah, you might be going to jail though, because I don't know if you remember that case with where the kid walked up to the door and an old man shot him through the door. It was something Ralph Yarrow or whatever it was.
I remember.
Yeah. And so that went mega viral though, because the white guy shooting a black kid. So that went mega viral and everybody was like losing their mind. But anyways, but he shot him, like, part of the reason, and people try to say it was about race this, race that. No, I think it was just the old guy that got startled and he pulled out his pistol. That's what I think happened. I don't think it had nothing to do with race. And so you can't just be shooting through a door just because someone knocked on it. And I don't care if he knocked aggressively. Most cases, you're gonna. I mean, that's an awful, unlawful way of discharging your firearm is just because somebody was knocking on your door. So that I think you're gonna get arrested every single time. But with this situation though, I gotta see the videos though, and they probably do got videos on it as well too once they are able to get it. But it's crazy to me that he did not get a bond on this one, like at least what 100,000 or maybe a $250,000. I don't know, but he should got a bond hearing on this. You know.
Hey, let me correct something I said earlier because I was looking at the wrong page. Virginia does not have stand your ground, but they do have castle doctrine. So from his perspective, if he can argue that his life is in danger, he's probably going to have to lean on the castle doctrine laws that Virginia has. But at the end of the day, and we haven't thrown any accountability at these kids because I don't
We said
understand
I was saying earlier.
yeah, I mean, in the last segment we did, but I haven't said anything about these kids yet. I don't understand. You have kids that are out at 3 a.m. ringing doorbells and kicking people's doors. Like, how does that happen? Like,
Yeah.
how far disconnected are you from your kids where you don't know that they're doing something like this?
Yeah.
I know a lot of parents these days would rather be your friend than your parent. Does that play a part into it?
Well,
I don't know, man. I don't know.
also, I imagine in that neighborhood though, they probably got a lot of ring cameras, so no one noticed that these kids were running up and down the neighborhood just kicking in people's doors. Like I thought people were joking when they say they were like trying to kick in the door. No, those guys. You know the other thing too. This was in the backyard, is where they got shot. Why were they in the backyard playing? There's no doorbell in the backyard, so I 100% believe that they were just trying to kick in this guy's door. And I don't know why they stood there. I don't know if that guy was just ready. He just got up and he was like, I got this piece on me. But unfortunately, that kid lost his life over a stupid prank. And they get these pranks off of these TikTokers that do this silly stuff. Honestly, I want to say that guy that was doing the kicking that we reviewed earlier on those hotel doors. I don't know why he didn't get the police called on him. That is wild to me that social media allows people to monetize off of these types of pranks. These pranks have gotten people deleted or people injured. There was a guy that he would walk up to people and he would say very obscene things to them. He said to this pizza delivery guy, dude stabbed him because he was in his face. He wanted to get out of his face. So these pranks, I mean, as much as people want to say like these pranks are so funny, ha ha ha, it ain't ha 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 when you sit in the casket.
You know, you just presented some new evidence to me, TR. The shooter has a fighter's chance now. I didn't know it was in the backyard. So to get to a backyard, you have to forego the front yard. You more than likely have to jump some type of fence or wall, and you have to bypass, assuming that there's at least some minimal type of security, like a dog or a camera or something.
Yeah.
So you have to bypass all of that, and you have to go around to the backyard. There's no doorbell, so they're probably knocking and kicking at his door. He might have a fighter's chance based on that information because if he can show that he has adequate security measures in place that they bypassed, he might be able to make the case that his life was in danger.
Yeah.
Or at least he felt his life was in danger.
Yeah, and from what I heard, he had a family there too, like wife and some kids. I don't know how many kids, but I don't know. It's crazy though because we just reviewed the Hinton, or I think his name was Hinton. We reviewed his video, and then we got the whole community rallying behind that guy who deleted a police officer that had nothing to do with his son's killing. And then we have this person who was protecting his home and against people. Maybe they were intruding, maybe they weren't. We don't know yet. But at the end of the day, I feel like there should have been more community involvement behind this guy, though. But again, that's why I don't rock with the community, because it depends on if they like you. It depends on what occurred here. And I feel like this has all the makings of what they generally stand for. But I don't know why this one hasn't even gone mega viral either, though, because again, like I said, this guy, there should be anyone that's a gun owner, they should be worried about this, though, because this is simply telling me that certain states will prosecute even though you were in the right. Like he should, I mean, maybe they waited a day or two to, bring him charges, but I don't know why they just have him in there not being held on bond. like maybe they will release him or something. But if I was the attorney, or maybe he does have an attorney, they should be like asking for bond. Like the guy has no history. What's the big deal here? And so, we'll keep an eye on this one, but it's a definitely odd story.
I'm looking to see how the NRA is going to react to this. I want to see how the NRA reacts to this.
Yeah, yeah. And there's some people, like I said, that were, on the liberal, not the liberal side, but conservative side, that were that. See, this is the thing that I have with, like, when it comes to like some of these media personalities where they're just actors, because in this particular case, it's black and white what happened here. So the same energy you had with Carmelo Anthony and with this Hinton case, you should have that same energy. And it's the same thing with people like, if you stand on black this, black that. I don't know why they're not standing for this dude that's in jail right now. So there's a lot of hypocrisy that is going on where people are definitely acting on both sides, though. But nobody wants to like really have the uncomfortable conversation, though, is that these kids should not have been out at late. And this homeowner, he's honestly, I would say he's being wrongfully detained. So we'll find out here, in the next week or so. But hopefully this story does not die down, though, because I think some adjustings happen here unless they have like more. We got to wait till all the evidence comes out. But unless they have more evidence, I think he should have a bond hearing, or they should drop the charges.
Yeah, I'm curious how this one's going to go too. And it's very unfortunate that kid had to die for a stupid prank, but you can't play with people like this, man. You don't know what they're going through and what type of threats are against them. You just can't play with people like this, especially at 3 a.m. and they're on the door in their backyard. You just can't do it.
Agreed. All right. Well, that is going to wrap up the first live stream. This was a little stressful, seeing everything live and no other takes, and seeing the number count out from 1 to 3, and I was 1 on the other one on my other phone. So, anyways, MC, and you want to close us out?
Yeah, just real quick. We just passed the 3 years ago. Kevin Samuels passed away. And I would be remiss if I didn't at least acknowledge one of the black men legends, particularly in these recent times. I just want to say rest in paradise, pass my condolences on his family. And MSN actually wrote an article that confirmed a lot of the things that he was saying, because a lot of people said he died broke. MSN actually confirmed his net worth is in fact $5 million as of earlier this year. So everything that he set in place is continuing to grow. He helped a lot of men develop self-confidence and wake up. And I have to remind people that nobody had any smoke for him until he started talking to women. So I just want to say rest in paradise and condolences to the family of KS.
Yeah, we'll have to do a video here, maybe in the next showing. But Kevin Samuels was, I was turned on to, I found out about Kevin Samuels a little bit late, maybe a year into, before he passed away, though. But the legend still lives on. He still has his family manages his channel, is still active, and some of his teachings are still ringing true today. I.e. Tracy Ellis Ross. So, but yeah,
indeed.
But definitely rest in peace, Kevin Samuels.
No doubt.
All right, end the show. See you next time.
Peace.